It is almost 3 a.m. The room is dark. The day is over, and your brain, with nothing left to do, quietly opens a folder you never asked to keep. Inside is the time you waved back at someone who was waving at the person behind you. The time you said "you too" when the waiter told you to enjoy your meal. The time you mispronounced a word in a meeting 4 years ago. None of it matters. All of it is replaying in vivid, high-definition detail, complete with the exact heat that climbed up your neck in the moment. You can forget a password you set yesterday. You can forget where you put your keys 10 minutes ago. But this you remember perfectly. And lying there in the dark, you start to wonder if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. What you are experiencing is not a flaw in your memory. It is your memory working exactly as it was built to work, just pointed at the wrong target. The cringe is not a verdict on who you are. It is an old protection system firing in an empty room. To understand why a harmless social slip gets bookmarked so hard, you have to understand what your brain decides is worth keeping. Most of your day is forgettable on purpose. Your brain is not trying to record everything. It is trying to record what might matter later. And the fastest way it tags something as might matter later is emotion. The neuroscientist James McGaugh spent decades studying this. His work showed that emotionally arousing experiences are remembered far more strongly than neutral ones, because the stress chemicals your body releases in a charged moment act like a highlighter, telling the brain this memory is important. Press harder. A small almond-shaped region called the amygdala, which you can think of as your built-in alarm system, flags the moment, and the memory gets burned in deeper than the 1,000 neutral moments around it. Here is the problem. Your alarm system is old. It was tuned for a world where being judged by your group was genuinely dangerous, where rejection could mean being left behind. It cannot tell the difference between a real threat and the waiter saying, "Enjoy your meal." So when you say the wrong thing in front of other people, your body reacts as if you stepped on a snake. The face goes hot, the stomach drops, and the amygdala does its job a little too well. It stamps the moment as critically important and files it under "Do Not Forget." Then there is the matter of why the bad ones, specifically, refuse to fade. The psychologist Roy Baumeister and his colleagues reviewed an enormous body of research and reached a blunt conclusion. Captured in the title of their paper, "Bad is stronger than good." Across nearly every domain they looked at, negative events tended to hit harder and stick longer than positive ones of equal size. One sharp insult can outweigh 5 kind compliments. One cringe can outlast 100 ordinary pleasant conversations. Your memory is not balanced. It is biased toward the things that once might have hurt you. But none of this explains the timing. Why 3 a.m.? Why not during lunch, or in the shower, or while you are busy? The answer is that during the day, you have a manager. The front part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, is the calm, rational region that keeps things in perspective, that says it was nothing. Everyone forgot, move on. When you are awake, busy, and rested, that manager is on shift, quietly overruling the alarm. But late at night, when you are tired and lying still, the manager clocks out. The sleep researcher Matthew Walker and his colleagues found that when the brain is short on sleep, the amygdala can become dramatically more reactive, while its connection to that calm, prefrontal region weakens. A kind of disconnect between the alarm and the person who is supposed to silence it. The alarm gets louder, the voice of reason gets quieter, and there is no task in front of you to drown any of it out. That last part matters more than it sounds. When your mind has nothing external to focus on, it does not go blank. It switches into what researchers call the default mode network, the pattern of brain activity that comes online when you are idle and that pulls your attention inward, toward yourself, toward your own past, toward replaying scenes that star you. A dark, quiet bedroom is the perfect stage for it. No distraction, no manager, just you and the alarm and the spotlight pointed at your worst moments. And that spotlight is the cruelest trick of all, because here is what you believe in those moments: that everyone saw it, that the waiter went home and told the story, that the meeting remembers your one stumbled word. The psychologist Thomas Gilovich called this the spotlight effect, the tendency to wildly overestimate how much other people notice and remember about you. In one well-known experiment, his team had people walk into a room wearing an embarrassing t-shirt and then guess how many others had noticed. The wearers were certain everyone had clocked it. In reality, far fewer had. You feel like the main character under a bright light. Everyone else is busy starring in their own movie under their own light, replaying their own 3 a.m. folder. So picture the actual scene that is haunting you. You lifted your hand to wave. They were not waving at you. For 1 second, your face went red and you put your hand down. That was it. Everyone within view registered it for about 2 seconds and then went back to their own thoughts, where it dissolved completely, forever. You are the only person on the planet still holding that moment. You have been carrying it alone, replaying it for an audience that walked away the same afternoon. And this is where it gets genuinely counterintuitive. It feels lying there, like the replaying is doing something. Like if you go over it enough times, you will finally process it, or learn the lesson, or armor yourself so it never happens again. But the research on rumination, the psychologist Susan Nolan Hoxhama's work on the habit of circling the same distressing thought, points the other way. Replaying a painful moment does not tend to resolve it. It tends to deepen the groove, keep the feeling fresh, and make the memory easier to summon next time. Every time you reach for the cringe to deal with it, you are not closing the file. You are pressing the highlighter down again. You are rehearsing it into permanence for the one person who never forgot: you. Knowing this does not switch the alarm off. Old systems do not have an off button, but it changes what the alarm means. The next time your face goes hot at midnight over something nobody else on earth remembers, you can recognize it for what it is. Not proof that you are awkward or broken, but an ancient survival reflex misfiring over a moment that ended the second it happened. You can let the wave be a wave. You can let the you too be 2 forgotten words. You can stop being the only witness at a trial that everyone else left long ago. It is almost 3 a.m. The room is still dark. The day is still over, and your brain opens the folder one more time. But now you know exactly what it is. Just an old alarm ringing in an empty room for an audience that went home years ago.